All right, class. This is another Santa Fe Community College Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class. Today, we are focused on attacks from back control. Real quick, I'm just going to take us through what we did last week on how to secure back control from the gift wrap. Okay, so I'm going to go through it relatively fast, faster than I did last week just because I already did it. So, my partner's protecting themselves. I'm in mount. I'm going to push one arm down using my whole body weight, start to go for my Americana. My partner is going to turn onto their side and straighten their arm out. As soon as they do that, guys, you see how their arms are on the left side? So I'm going to take that same arm, my left arm, and I'm going to pin their bottom arm to the ground. Pin it to the ground by straightening my arm out. My top arm, my right arm, is going to sneak behind their head. Now, if I pin it here long enough, almost always what's going to happen is my partner's going to start grabbing my wrist, trying to free their arm. When they grab my wrist, I'm going to let go of their arm and bring my hand to my hand. When I do that, it gives me this arm, okay? Now, I want to pull on the wrist, push on the elbow, getting their arm underneath the chin, just like we did last week, okay? Once we're here, I go to S mount. I pull them up on their side. My foot is going to touch their back. I'm going to sit down. I pull them into my lap. Once I pull them into my lap, guys, I want to go one arm under, one arm over. I get my butterfly grip, my gable grip right here, and I get my hooks. Okay, my hooks are the most important thing for securing back control. Now I'm here in back control. So when we're in back control, we usually want to have one arm under, one arm over. Two arms under is fine. Both arms over gives us less control. Okay, guys, unless we already have that choke secured in or a very tight grip on the neck, usually want one under, one over here when we're securing control. My ear needs to be tight to their back or tight to their head. One other thing, guys, if the person's a little bit taller than us, it's going to be hard for us to get in here and start choking them. So if they're a little taller than us, all I got to do is scoot back and pull them in. And that'll make even somebody who's like, 5-6 inches taller than me short in my back control so that I can attack them. Okay. So now that we have a little bit of an understanding how to take that back, we went over that last week. So if you want to watch the previous week, I go into that more in depth. I'm going to go over how to secure a rear naked choke. The first thing I want to show you is the grip on my own hand, kind of this hand manipulation that I use in order to gain access to the throat under the chin. It's a little tricky. I'm going to show it close. What I do is I make a kind of a mock fist. I bring my thumb in tight, and then I wrap my finger around it. And you guys see how that leaves my little knuckle sticking out? I'm going to be using that knuckle on the edge here of the jaw, okay? I'm going to take that knuckle of my thumb, find the edge of the jaw, and then drive across. And what that'll do if I find the edge of that is it'll allow me to lift their chin up by using the line of my arm, just to lift that chin up. It's one of the best ways that I've found to gain access to there. A lot of time people can waste a lot of energy trying to get in there, get grips. Even if their chin is tucked super deep, and I get behind that, if I drive across, it's going to open up that jaw. It's kind of mean, but your partner's deciding how much it sucks, so I consider it fair play. We're in here. Okay. So I have my grip. I'm going to create that knuckle, okay, by putting the thumbnail right on that index finger. I'm going to drive across, okay? Once I drive across, I want to get my elbow on their center line, and I want to grab their shoulder. That's going to make any kind of grip they get on my arm and any kind of pulling they're doing not nearly as effectual as if I'm just kind of floating here. Okay, so I want to drive across, grab their shoulder. And this is going to be kind of an in-between situation. We can start applying pressure here, but we don't want to put on the full choke yet. All right? Now my arm is here. My partner, if they're smart, they're going to be hugging that with their arm in the armpit. So I'm going to have to pull that out. I'm going to have to pull it out pretty hard. I usually suggest if you're having trouble, don't use a constant motion. Okay, not just a nice easy pull. Go ahead and use 3 quick pulls, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to be out. Once we're there, guys, and this arm is out, I want to, a lot of times people think about like grabbing the bicep, putting the hand behind the head. I had Professor Romero up in Los Alamos show me a way that he does this choke that I really like, and it's not all about grabbing the bicep, okay? What we're going to do is I'm going to take this hand and I'm going to shoot it up to the shoulder, okay? Once I have their shoulder, I'm going to grab my own shoulder. The other hand, I'm going to slide up behind their head, but I'm going to be grabbing my other shoulder, okay? So one more time. I'm in here. I have my partner, 1 over, 1 under. I'm going to take my thumb knuckle, drive that across their jawline up, and I grab their shoulder. From here, guys, don't worry about grabbing your arm or anything. Just pull your arm out. I'm going to shoot my arm up to grab my own shoulder. Then I'm going to take this hand, go over my arm, behind their head, and I'm going to grab my other shoulder. Now from here, guys, all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off that space. Okay, when I say cut off that space, I'm here. I'm going to make this space as small as possible. Okay, make that space. A lot of times when I say squeeze, what people tend to do is they just engage their muscles isometrically, and that's not what I want. I want you to actually cut that space off by kind of retracting the shoulders. And we can also take a nice deep breath. And filling up that chest is going to cut off that space for your partner's neck. So again, I have my over-under, I have my seatbelt. I'm going to take that knuckle and the thumb, drive under the jawline, okay? Grab their shoulder. From here, I pull my arm out. Now I'm going to shoot my hand to my own shoulder, go above my hand, go above my arm, behind their head, and grab my own shoulder. Okay, guys? From there, I'm going to make that space small. Take a deep breath and hold it. And when we hold this, guys, I want you to count to 8. If it's under the jaw, you have a good grip, I want you to hold it for 8 seconds. A lot of times when people get these chokes, one way they'll mess it up is they'll squeeze. They'll say, oh, I don't have it, and let go, try to change it, and then squeeze. Oh, I don't have it. And they do that over and over again until they're exhausted. This person's not put out. They're not made unconscious from the strangulation because we kept squeezing and letting go, squeezing and letting go, squeezing and letting go. So instead of that, if we're under the chin and we have a good grip, let's just get a good grip, squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there we go. Then I'll let go. And then if it doesn't work after that, we'll change up our grip and see what has to happen. So that is just the basic rear naked choke. Okay, guys? It is one of the most effective submissions if you can get the back. Very simple. Biggest thing is just to get under that chin. And you can even get it if you don't get under the chin. And there have been cases where people still get it on the chin. They squeeze, the other person doesn't tap, and the person's jaw gets broken, or they still get put to sleep. So it's kind of dangerous if you're just dropping that jaw as your main means of defense against the rear naked choke. But again, it's a very effective choke. Go ahead and drill it. If you're going with a partner, go nice and easy. Try not to apply a lot of pressure to the trachea. Again, the way that we get the correct pressure is when we drive through. We get the elbow onto the center line. If I'm here, guys, and I'm trying to do the choke, I'm going to be crushing my partner's windpipe. And that's not going to be nearly as effective to make them go to sleep as it's not going to be as effective as getting my elbow nice and deep so that I can cut off the blood veins and arteries on the sides of their neck. Okay, so go ahead and drill that. Again, to get full credit for this class, I'm going to need you guys to give me a 2-sentence response on Canvas. So please do that. If you're just watching this video because you love jiu-jitsu, then I hope this was a nice little technique for you. And I will see you next week.